Welcome to Pastor Aggressive Podcast. Real life, real faith,
real talk. Real quick, let's do a chant for our nation real quick.
Yep.
Ba's alright. Shout out Wyatt.
Yeah, so we're very tired today. Like, I know we
had a
say that
long
pretty
weekend.
much every time. But here's what happened is we got busy. We had a really long weekend, very successful weekend.
Worship night, fish fry,
Yeah.
homecoming church.
Yeah, it was a big weekend. Lots of interactions. And then on top of that, you know, we talk about how it should be much easier for us to podcast because we live together, but we have not seen each other outside of some kind of church function pretty much this entire time.
Is that pretty crazy?
You and Tiffany you finished like building part of this wall, so that
Yeah.
was cool. But I napped during that, or I tried to, but the construction noise was overwhelming.
Yeah, when you're doing drywall, you use a lot of screws and impact.
I noticed that there's a lot of zippy sounds when drywall is being put up, so it was very difficult for me to sleep. That being said, I'm very tired. I think you're very tired. We're both very tired, but we're going to bring this together because despite living together and thinking we would have all the time in the world to podcast, this one's coming in hot. Like I'm going to have like 15 minutes to put this thing together before it has to be put on.
Bro, I had like 3 Bible studies this week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't go home till like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, we were like, we're going to do it. What happened Thursday?
What did happen Thursday? Because I don't actually remember.
I think
why
we were just being
didn't do
lazy.
it. Yeah, probably.
That probably would have been a good day to do it.
Yeah.
But all things work together for the good of the glory of God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I had a topic that I wanted to focus on today, for this week, and then I was like, well, I think that's what happened Thursday. Is I was like, I think I forgot my notes at the church, and I was like, that's fine, we'll just do it another time. But then I also have still yet to get my notes from the church, so we're just gonna probably have to wing it. But I wanted to talk about. Before we get into any of that, I want to talk about the fact that we're going to have a live podcast event in Martinsville, Indiana, at the venue, which is an outdoor venue. Come in, just join us for that. We're going to be talking about my new book that just came out called Through a Glass Darkly. You can get that on Amazon, or you can just purchase it there at the event. Either way is fine, but you can come ask your questions. Particularly about like the book of Revelation or end time theology or something like that, but it doesn't have to be that. If you want to just come and ask any kind of question about the podcast stuff,
come chant with us.
Yeah, anything that you anything that could have already been an email but you haven't sent it to us, come and ask it, and we'll answer it live on the podcast, and you can be a part of that too. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting time, and I noticed that I say that a lot.
Do they serve beer there?
No. There's nothing being served there. I talked about having hot dogs, but now I'm thinking I don't think I can do that because I don't think I can serve food legally in a public setting without some kind of license.
And also, like, nobody goes to a book release and eats a hot dog.
Right. I was thinking that.
You got to have, like, what's that? What's octopus? Calamari?
Calamari.
And fried pickles?
No, I don't know. I think maybe I don't know what to have. We need to do something because
we should just have like Red 40 water there. Like we just mix water and Red 40.
We should just have Celsius there because
which is basically Red 40 water.
Basically Red 40 water. Celsius should be sponsoring us, but they're not, and that's unfortunate.
I know they're missing out on so much market share.
I know. Yeah, like
is that the right word for that?
Yeah, like 10 to 12 people they could be reaching a week. But anyway, I wanted to get that business out of the way before we got into too much more. But I hope that you'll all join us there and listen and ask questions and be a part of that because I think it's going to be a fun thing. It's going to be a little community event, and maybe we'll get some new listeners out of it. Hopefully I'll get some new book readers out of it. That'll be great. And then it's one of those rising tides raises all ships situations, you know? Good for everybody. Good for everybody.
Thing. Yo, anyone who's listening in the Martinsville area, we need y'all to start coming out to this Hope on the Hill, man. Hope at the Hill?
Yeah, Hope on the Hill. What is it? Hope at the Hill. Yeah.
Hope at the Hill. This thing we do on Sundays at 6, man. We just got back from one tonight, and it was fire, bro. It was a blessing. We do this like victory struggle thing where we all share a victory from our week and a struggle from our week.
It started out as like a recovery, like an addiction recovery meeting. And I think there's still part of that to it, but it's really more just about like, what are the things that all of us are dealing with?
Yeah, bro. And it's like, it used to be like, I still call it a recovery meeting because it's mostly like recovering people. But,
yeah,
you know, we have like Miss Linda there, who's a recovered addict. Phil is a recovered addict. These guys are all recovered addicts, but I guess it's just how they would label themselves, however that would be.
Yeah.
But it's just like we're getting around and we're talking about what's going on in our lives, the good things. We're praising God and we're praying for one another with the bad things that are happening in our lives.
Yeah.
And I think every Christian can benefit from that, man. So I want to start seeing some of my boys, man. Some of y'all listening to this podcast start coming out, start showing love and being vulnerable, man, being open.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. But anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
We're just promoting stuff right now.
Yeah, we're just plugging everything right now.
Check out my OnlyFans. I produce only Christian content.
Could that? I don't even think that could be a thing.
OnlyFans
right?
started out like a Patreon type thing. It wasn't always like a dirty nude thing.
Really?
Yeah, bro. OnlyFans.
So it was not like
it was only for fans.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't like only feet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's only feet. But also, can you be Christian and sell feet pics?
That is a really good question. I've wondered about that. Feet pics.
You've wondered? I've spent many nights contemplating this.
Hey, but if this book thing doesn't take off, the podcast isn't making me any money. I got to figure something out.
You put your sausage toes all over the internet, bro.
Is there a market for hobbit feet on the internet?
Yo. Yo. Oh, I got a headache. Yo. That's out of pocket.
I guess there's a market for anything on the internet. Who knows anymore? It's a wild
bro.
place.
People got some weird kinks, bro. This I was talking to Linda about that, about how like desensitized people are with sex and all and intimacy.
And violence.
Oh
and
my
everything.
gosh, bro!
It's out of control, man.
Yeah, I guess we should talk about this Charlie Kirk thing a little bit. But I seen a guy comment. He was like, "We smoking on that Charlie Kirk pack," and I'm like, "What a just absolutely dumb thing to say."
Yeah.
But also, like, I think it's just people, bro. Because like when that health insurance, or what was that guy, that health insurance CEO or whatever got killed, there were people on both sides kind of celebrating that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
and when those I'm gonna get this wrong,
senators or something,
state representatives, when those state representatives were killed a couple months ago, it was the same thing, like different side, same conversation, where they were just like, one of those like they got what they deserve thing, and that nobody deserves to die for that. Like that's just for opinion stuff,
Nah.
Or even for being. We would argue that nobody deserves to die for being even an awful person, right?
Yeah. Nobody even deserves to die for taking somebody else's life.
Right. And that's the conversation that's being had right now. And
don't get me wrong, they deserve death.
Right, but all of us deserve death,
right,
because that's the penalty of sin.
Yeah.
And so that's so that's the conversation that's happening in our nation right now and in our culture. And not even just our nation. I saw somebody interviewing somebody in the UK today about it. Like, that's how big this kind of stuff is.
Bro.
Because it has an impact on all of society.
Yeah.
We're both also fighting off whatever just weekend long crud from just being weather changing and being around billions of people and
being around little kids and weird dogs.
Yeah, right. And ducks.
Nah, like, don't get me wrong, bro. I think Charlie Kirk was like, we definitely lost a good one, bro. Like, we definitely lost a man who was out there like preaching, telling people about Jesus, loving people, and he was like, he wasn't like one of those rage bait conservatives, man, where it's like Ben Shapiro destroys libtard at LSU or something like that. It's like, nah, bro was really like trying to save people's souls, bro.
Well, and he was really trying to have conversation. Now, I will say this. I don't agree with everything that he ever said, but I don't think I agree with everything anybody said.
I agree with even like 10% of what you say.
even like, we love guys like C.S. Lewis or Leo Tolstoy and stuff. We talk about those guys
Leo
all
Tolstoy
the time.
doesn't believe in heaven, and
But,
I'm like, oh
yeah,
no, bro.
yeah.
Like,
but like we don't agree with those guys all the way either. And those are guys we like really, really like. So, we've talked about so many different people that we don't. But I think that's kind of the point, right? Like that we don't have to all agree on everything. And now there could be an argument made, and I don't want to get too much into the reeds of the political stuff and like saying, well, yeah, but this or yeah, but that. But the reality is, regardless, that kind of like being out there and kind of, maybe combative isn't the word, but like instigating in conversation can radicalize people and does, but I don't know that like that. I don't think that makes him a bad guy for being out there talking to people. You know what I mean?
No, because I feel like most people, like probably how you think about it, when you see like Ben Shapiro destroying somebody at a campus,
Right.
that doesn't like fuel me to go like kill all the liberals.
Correct.
Or also like as a liberal, that shouldn't fuel you to like go kill conservatives. It's just the art of debate, bro.
Right.
It's like some people, even like you could be wrong in a debate and still win, like wrong in the sense that it's not the truth and still win a debate. It's literally just about like proving a point better than somebody else can prove a point.
Right. Yeah.
And Charlie Kirk did that very well, but it was also more than that. Like it's obvious he wasn't just like clout chasing, bro, because he was like doing interviews and people are like, aren't you scared you could die of this? And he's like, no, I'm not really, like, I know it could happen, but I'm not really like scared of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what God is calling me to. So it's like he just had a more driven purpose than I feel like most of that stuff.
And there's been a quote that's been started to be attributed to him, mostly because he said it here in the last like couple of months, but it was actually a quote that John MacArthur said about how all that death can do to a believer is put him in the arms of Jesus, and that is really a beautiful sentiment and really the truth. And so I don't think that anyone deserves to die. Even I don't think that, and this is something that'll get us maybe in trouble, I don't think the guy that killed Charlie Kirk deserves to die.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And
it's like if you look at it, like boil it down, Charlie Kirk was a man. So every man that has been killed by another man, should we put that man to death?
Right. And I think about this, the saints in heaven, when Saul became Paul and came to the Lord, rejoiced that he came into salvation. Yeah. The saints that he killed.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I think about that a lot, where people get really bent out of shape when they think about the fact that it appears, again, salvation belongs to the Lord, we don't know, but it appears that Jeffrey Dahmer came to the Lord before he died.
Yeah.
And when he did, all of the people that he murdered in cold blood that were believers, they rejoiced in heaven that he came to salvation. You know what I mean? And that's crazy to think about. But that is the mentality we should have even on earth.
And that's so hard.
Which is it's really almost impossible. It is impossible in our flesh.
Well, it's like when you explain the like no punishment thing, people are like, I don't know how you can live in a world where nobody gets punished because it's just going to go crazy. And I'm like, but if you're in perfection, if you're in heaven, if we're supposed to be like tasting heaven on earth and living as like the population of heaven, I guess, in a way,
yeah,
then we should live to that standard. So I don't think people in heaven are like, and this is totally like C.S. Lewis speculation, like looking down and being like, oh, I can't believe that guy just did that, dude.
Right.
He deserves to die.
Yeah,
it's like, God, strike him down now. It's like, no, they're like hoping for him to be saved.
That's crazy to think like that, but it really is how we should be thinking. I had a friend this week, we were having conversations about this whole stuff, and we disagree on a lot of things, but he was talking about like something that he wrestles with. And he was like, I have to think about the fact that I can only love Jesus as much as the person that I like the least.
That's crazy.
But it's true.
I mean, Jesus says, "What you do unto the
Yes.
least of these,
Yep.
you're doing to me."
Yeah, and he tells us to love our enemies and to pray for those who persecute us. And so we really have to think that way.
Yeah. I dropped that bomb on this lady I've been trying to lead towards the Lord. It's kind of hard to explain to people, like, all these people want justice, quote unquote justice, but it's like,
Right.
what does God call us to do? I'm like, what does he call us to do to the people we love? Pray for them, to love them.
Yeah.
What about the people we hate? Pray for them, love them.
Yeah.
And she's like, so you mean you like love gay people? And I'm like, yeah, I love gay people. And she's like, can they be gay and be a Christian? I don't know. I don't condone it.
We wrestle with that fact all the time. We talk about it. I have my thoughts on that, and I
know, but the thing is, like, what I was trying to explain to her is none of that is the point.
Right.
All I'm supposed to do is love this person and tell them about Jesus. Even you, even though I know you're a pastor, you're strong in your faith. Why am I not telling you about Jesus?
Yeah.
Why am I not delivering the gospel to you?
Right.
Why am I not saying things like that to you?
Yeah. That's the thing, is that the gospel is not something that we receive and it brings us to salvation and then that's it. Right? The gospel is to inspire us throughout our entire walk.
The gospel's living, bro.
Yeah, and
it's
so
alive.
we need to be reminded of the gospel daily.
Yeah.
Because if we for a second think that someone that we should celebrate anyone's death, then we need the gospel.
Yeah. And if we think anyone is beyond salvation,
we need the gospel. Yeah.
Because we forgot about who we are or who we were.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, if we're thinking that way, maybe still who we are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, man.
Yeah.
We're out here praying for his family, man. It sucks, but
Yeah, regardless of what you think, like what you believe politically or anything like that, nobody deserves, even if you want to go as extreme as whatever you think he deserved, nobody deserves to lose their parent in such a violent way.
No.
Nobody deserves to witness their parent killed in such a violent way. That's
got to
be so traumatic,
bro.
Yeah, yeah. There's no escaping that now, and that's Anyway,
wait, real quick. I know we need to hop off this, but I seen this post on Facebook earlier. It said it was trying to convince people that the Charlie Kirk was a hologram and that the ring like switched fingers, but it was really just like he plays with his ring. I'm like, guys, you cannot be playing. It's like the Sandy Hook thing with Alex Jones.
Yeah,
like, you cannot play this game, bro.
People get crazy about this stuff.
I know. Anyway, man.
Conspiracies are wild.
Speaking of crazy people, let's talk about Gen Z.
Yeah. So this actually does transition well into this conversation because part of...
He was like the spearhead of Gen Z, bro.
Yeah, because... And why is it so easy for Gen Z to get brought into like the political picture of things is because Gen Z is... there's all these stats out there that Gen Z is the most anxious generation. They're the most lonely generation. A lot of that has to do with the isolation that they were like in peak developmental years of their life. They were isolated because of the COVID stuff. And so it's caused this thing where there's just like a longing for community. What that does is it makes a great opportunity for the church to reach those people if we're willing to do that. But it also makes a great opportunity for anyone or any cult of personality to wrangle these people, these young people up because they're looking for community. And they can find that in like political extremism. They can find that in witchcraft. They can find it in New Ageism. They can find it in spirituality.
They can find it in LGBTQ activity.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of what these kids want is they want to feel accepted, they want to feel valuable, they want to feel like people care about them.
Yeah.
And as Christians, we're not really doing that very often.
No. And that's the problem. That's because if the message the message is that Christians hate. That's the message that we see the most, because there are people out there that claim to be Christians and hate in the name of God.
Yeah.
There are people out there that are Christians, but they prioritize other things above their faith, like their political status, or their other affiliations, whatever it be. And so then that perpetuates this idea that they are hateful because they keep themselves busy talking about everything else but the gospel.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
It's like this. I heard this Christian lady say, I didn't hear her say this. It's a girl I know. Her mom said this, and this is why she has a rocky understanding of Christianity. Is her mom, when Trump almost got assassinated, told her that she was praying that he didn't miss.
Oh,
and it's like, bro, as Christians, we cannot be doing stuff like that. Like, I'm very conscious lately for some reason of my witness, of like, I can't be like letting my guard down and like acting. I like have to like stay in this like Christian point of view, and I've kind of been like living this life where it's like, okay, when I'm at church, you know what I'm saying, when I'm at Bible study, when I'm around church people, but then when I'm on the game, I'm cussing, I'm acting crazy, I'm getting angry. It's like, wait, no, I have to be this person who God is calling me to be all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't hurt the witness.
Yeah.
So I don't push people away. So I don't show them a fake gospel or a fake. I say I'm a new creation, but am I a new creation?
Right.
Can people tell I'm a new creation?
And part of this is part of what makes Gen Z unique also is that millennials, which is like my generation, I make the cutoff, but just barely. But my generation,
okay, boomer,
is kind of like grew up in church for the most part and has deconstructed and turned away from the church.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happened with Gen Z so much as they just never were raised in church.
Yeah.
They didn't grow up in Sunday schools or VBS or, children's church, any of that stuff. And so they don't even know they don't know what they're getting into. They just find that there's community in the church and they come into the church. And so what happens when some Gen Z with blue hair and ripped jeans and like a cut off like belly shirt comes into your church? Are you like sending them away because you're like, oh, you don't dress like that coming to church?
I'll be honest. If a woman walked in with like those leggings on that look like the same color as their skin, I'd probably kick them out. You know what I'm saying?
But
no, I'm just kidding.
But that's what we're talking about is like, how do we reach Gen Z, and what are they looking for? So,
well,
go ahead.
The thing is, bro, it's challenging because a lot of these kids are like shut off, and older people don't really understand that they're shut off. And they just need to be like lovingly pushed out of that shut off zone. But instead we see that they're shut off and we think, oh, they're disinterested. Oh, they're, they'd rather be on their phone or doing something they're not supposed to be doing. It's like, no, they just need to be engaged. And it's uncomfortable for you to engage people that look like they don't want to be engaged.
Yeah.
But you kind of just got to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of harder for older people to do that because it was different like for you guys growing up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When
you guys, you say like I'm an old person.
Like when you guys used to ride your like horse and chariot to, you know what I'm saying, to church, you guys used to wave at each other passing by.
So
walking back from the milk market or whatever.
So there's three things that was mentioned in this training about Gen Z that were like, these are the three things that are drawing Gen Z to the church, and this is the things that they're looking for in the church. The first thing was community. They're looking for community engagement. They want churches that are not just sitting in church. They want to find out about your church because you're out at the farmer's market or the fair or in the parades or your...
What type of parades are we talking about?
The fall foliage parades. That you're just out in the community. You're like, they see you at the food pantry or whatever thing you're doing that they see this church is out in the community. That's the first thing they want to see because they want community.
Yeah.
They want to be involved in the community, and they can see the church as a way to be involved in the community.
Yeah.
But not if the church is just a private club that hangs out on Sundays.
Yeah.
The second thing is they want the family connection that they're missing. So the other thing about Gen Z is that the family dynamic is different.
It's broken.
There's a lot more broken families than there were in the previous generations. There's a lot more of just untraditional families. There's a lot more broken families. There's a lot more of what we would consider traditional families, but that are not connected. They're disconnected because they're all just like on their own phones, separate from each other. Yeah. Or beat down by life so much that like the parents are working so much just to survive that they never see their kids. Yeah. And so the family dynamic is different. So they're looking for like a family. And if church doesn't feel like a family and it feels like a transaction or a business, they're not looking for that.
No. They have enough of that.
Right. That's their whole life is, how many Robux do I need to buy this skin? They're not looking for transactions. They're looking for relationships and interactions.
Well, I think kind of the negative side of that is like transactions. I would say as rewards. Iris has kind of been reminding me of this. Is like she always wants a reward for doing what she's supposed to do. Yeah, but that's like so spot on to my generation. Yeah, of like everything is rewarding. Getting on your phone is rewarding. Right, getting on the game is rewarding. Watching porn is rewarding. Sure, but these rewards are not good rewards. But also when you come into church, you like expect to be rewarded for that from God, and it's not. You do get rewarded, but it's not a dopamine reward. You know what I mean? It's kind of they're kind of hard rewards to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Go through.
The unlock tier of church.
like before you unlock the skin, you're just like the black character on the Marvel or whatever it is. What are those fighting games called? Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So then so then there's the third thing. The third thing is that they're looking for people who preach with their hands. And what I mean by that is that they're looking for someone who's not just saying the things that they're saying, but they're actually doing the things that they're saying. Yeah. They're actually acting out their faith. It's talking about how we need to be in the community and actually going and serving at the food pantry or donating your time or your resources to these people. It's about meeting people on the streets where they are. It's about like taking the guys today and just stopping and getting them something from the gas station. It's not even like big things. It doesn't have to be big things. It's just saying like, not just saying I care about you to get you to the, like, for example, in this situation, not just saying we care about you because we want you to come to our meeting, but saying, like, on the way home, we care about you enough that we're going to, like, take care of you. We're going to get you a snack. We're going to make you have a good, like, good end to your night. We're not just here to just make sure you get to our church, check the box, and get out of here.
I'm interested in serving you.
Yes. And so that's the kind of stuff that really, really engages with this generation. So with that, I was hearing from a lot of pastor friends of mine today. We had our homecoming today, which is always a bigger Sunday. And this is a blessing just because of how our church has been growing. It was kind of just what we would call a normal Sunday now almost. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it is now. And that's awesome. I love that. But a lot of my pastor friends were talking about how they had like the biggest Sundays they've had this year, a lot of them. Really? And I think it's part of this this shift in the culture right now that this generation is seeking something. They've had traumatic event after traumatic event, and now this happens. And this, whether you agree with him or not, again, I don't want to overplay this Charlie Kirk thing. I don't want to make it out like, he was our favorite guy or anything, but all I'm saying is this generation saw him as a voice of their generation. Yeah. And so now what? And so I think that has a lot.
Now we got Nick Fuentes.
Right. Ugh, boy. Yeah. I don't even want Buzz all right.
Buzz all right.
So I don't even want to get a Nick Fuentes because there's a guy that really is a litmus test for how much I love Jesus. If we're going off of that. Anyway. there is so now they're like, now what? Now what do we do? And I think that contributed to the surge in church attendance this week. And I don't think it's just in our community. I think we're seeing that all over the place. And I hope it continues that way.
Yeah, I hope it's not just like a short-lived thing, man.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like people riding the wave and then fall back into complacency. But I've heard a lot of, even your wife said, she's like, I'm kind of on fire now. Like, I just don't care. Like, I just want to be bold. But I feel like that's, like, Charlie Kirk dying is a huge thing. That's not going to happen again, probably. There's not going to be something, I hope not, short term that's going to influence a culture like this. So that's the feeling's going to die out eventually, man. And what Charlie Kirk was pointing you towards was not him.
Yes, that's
the
main thing, yeah.
He's pointing you towards the Lord. Why was Charlie Kirk on fire?
Yeah.
Not because he was a flaming narcissist and he loved himself, because he loved Jesus, man.
Yeah.
And praise God for that.
Yeah, and I think we need to find ways that we can connect with people from all generations. And this is what we talk about this all the time, but when Paul says to become all things to all people, this is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That we're not just looking for the people that fit the mold of what we think church people look like.
Right.
That we're not just getting the people that we want in our church, getting the numbers we want at our church, getting the the people that are going to do the things that are going to fill our needs, but that are going to actually, we're able to reach different people because we have different people. We have diversity in our church, and that causes us to reach more people.
Yeah, I really like your guys' church because you guys do that DEI program when you come in. Nah, I get what you're saying, though. And that's what I actually have been loving about your church lately is, like, you're getting a lot of young guys in there, and it takes, like, young guys to minister to other young guys.
Yeah.
I've noticed as I've gotten, like, more mature in my faith, I guess, it's kind of harder for me to relate with people that are newer in the faith, even though, like, having them around reminds me of the things that, like, crippled me so hard that Jesus just delivered me from.
Right.
But I feel like the older you get, you're just kind of in different sections for different people, bro.
Yeah, but
that's important.
The church should be able to do that.
Right. I
Not
think
just be like whatever like this is just what our church has always been, you know?
I think that's what turns a lot of young kids away from church is, like, you go to church and the stigma is like it's just a bunch of old people.
Yeah.
And it's like what you're saying. It's because we're not... There's, like, this fine line between, like, changing the faith to appeal to the youth. We're not saying, like, oh, my gosh, bro, you got to tell a story about the crystal.
I know, I was going to say, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. So I actually was going to speak to that. I'm glad that you were saying that because it leads right into what I wanted to say.
This is hilarious.
So part of this training that that I was in that really was so insightful, and I just, like, I don't talk about my denomination a whole lot because as you say, I'm more non-denom than anything.
Or liberal.
But shout out to the American Baptists for putting this thing together because it really was, it was a great training and much needed. But anyway, I'm on this Zoom call, and one of the things that was told to us is that Gen Z, because they are seeking things like this, they're looking for community. They're looking everywhere for it.
Yeah.
And, I talked about how, like, that can be, like, political radicalism. That can be witchcraft. That can be New Age. All of those things. And so what they said is when you see someone coming in and they clearly have connected with one of these things, we need to, rather than say when they walk in the door, oh, you have your fingernails painted black and you've got crystals on. Get out of here. You don't belong in church. Get rid of that stuff. Instead of that, or they come in with a pentagram necklace on or whatever, we need to explain to them what that stuff is and lead them through the gospel to the actual Christian faith alternative to that thing.
Right.
And the example the person used that was leading this, she said that it was she was like, so for example, if you have someone who's really into, like, meditation, teach them how to pray deeply and meditate on the scriptures.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's so good. Because I don't think we do enough of that in the church because we're scared of that other, like, the new agey side of that, you know?
Yeah.
And this person chimed in with saying like, "Oh, I'm so glad you said that because, God created all things and God created crystals, so we should be able to." And then like the person that's doing the training like eventually got things back on track. It was like, "No, that wasn't what I was saying. What I'm saying is." Where these things are dangerous, we need to point them.
She's like, also, you've been voted out.
Yeah, but then, dude, this is the problem with Zoom calls: is I forget that people can see my face, and I'm just scanning the little mini TVs of the Zoom call, and I see my face, and it was so distorted in the in the most just like befuddled.
You just have a look on your face like you just saw your mom naked. Dude.
It was the face of confusion and frustration, like I didn't know how to use technology, but I was trying to get like Alexa to order my groceries, but I didn't know how that works. And I was like, oh, I forget that everyone can see my face right now as I'm just blown away that someone would say something so crazy. But anyway,
you probably let her off easy with that, man. I mean, hopefully she saw your face and was like, ooh, maybe I need to go burn some sage.
But okay, so
negative vibes off me.
Yeah, so I don't know.
What is the Christian alternative for crystals? Incense?
Rosaries. No, I don't. No, I think having a focus for your prayers, like I joke about rosary being it, but I think having a focus for your prayers, like maybe lighting candles when you pray, or like having a specific list of things that you pray, or like
I pray with my rosary.
For me, I have a cross that is like shaped in a way that like when you hold it, it like forms to your hand.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that. I have it up there every Sunday with me.
In your fanny pack?
Yeah, I do have it in my I have one in my fanny pack, but then I also have one at the podium when I'm preaching. But I use that sometimes to just kind of like focus my prayer, just like make sure I'm not getting distracted by other things in the room,
Yeah.
So I that would be what I would think would be that. Like I said, the only example she really gave us was in the case of like if they're like new agey, like yoga meditation type thing.
Yeah.
She was saying point them toward like liturgies and structured prayer and meditating on scripture.
Yeah, I wonder, like a lot of the things she's saying to do instead of these new agey things, I feel like the new age thing is like a visceral reaction to us getting rid of those things. Like prayer, it's kind of like science and religion a little bit, but like prayer is like at odds with meditation, which is just like goofy. Like I think as Christians, we should meditate. What does it mean to meditate? To like be still.
Yeah.
To be silent. And that book we're reading, I really like the way he puts it. He's like New Age and like Buddhist meditation is to like clear your mind of all things. Yeah. He says Christian meditation is to fill your mind with the things of God.
So this book is actually pretty old. The book that we're reading, I just finished Celebration of Discipline.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not very new. I don't think it's very new. No, because my buddy I was talking to, anyway, my buddy I was talking to about the book was talking about how he loved
read
this
it when
book.
He was a kid.
He read this book when he was like getting into high school, and he's my age now, so it's at least 20 years old.
Dang. Okay.
But it still resonates, and it is this is a good point. That is exactly the kind of thing that this training was talking about.
Yeah.
And I think Celebration of Discipline does a good job of telling you how you can refocus those things, how you can transition into the faith journey in a real way, in a tangible way, through these disciplines.
That's why I think so many young guys, the ortho bros, dude. I think that's why they're all going to orthodoxy, because there's a lot more.
Because it has a discipline, it has a structure, and again, that's what they're looking for. They don't have the family background, the community background, it's all missing. And so they're like, what I need more structure. Because let's face it, this is the generation that their parents have been like,
free range parenting.
Yeah, like you do what feels best to you. And so now they're like, we've been living that our entire lives. We now want some kind of structure.
Yeah. Yeah, as a kid, you have no idea what feels best to you. Like,
right.
You maybe know what feels best to you, but you have no idea, and you know that you don't know what's best for you as a kid.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. But I'm trying, bro. I'm trying as a young guy to reach out to other young guys. We got Wyatt, we got Logan, the boys starting to hang out. Got the church camp kids, bro. God's really blessed me with a cool crowd. But it is hard. It's hard because I still struggle with some of the same things they struggle with, and I'm trying to be like this mentor or whatever. But, maybe that's what they need to see. They need to see that I'm a young guy that loves Christ.
And what's cool about this is when we start to connect with this, like these younger generations, and I'm trying to do a better job of even connecting with the kids in my church, because I came to this realization recently that, like, not that we discredit the people who have brought the church to the place that it's at. I don't want to sound like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, my church is 140 years old, and there have been people throughout the history of this church that have brought it to where it is.
Dang, dude, your mom must have been there since the founding.
I was going to make a joke that there are probably people here that at the church still from when it was first founded. That's not true. But
Bigler built it.
But we do have people in our church still that are 91, 92, 93, 94 years old,
that have been serving forever.
They've been serving for a long time, and this church is here because they were open to listening to the call of God.
And they were faithful.
And faithful to doing what God called them to do.
Absolutely.
And so now my job is to look to the future.
Yeah.
And see who the people are that are going to sustain this church for the future.
That's kind of a loaded thing, though, because even the people of the past or the current are the future. So it's kind of like you got a lot on your plate because you got to look at the future for the people who like things the way they are.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you got to look at the future for the people who have no idea what they're walking into.
Yeah.
That's a lot, bro.
And you joke about how old I am, but I'm not even 40 yet.
I know.
And from like a ministry standpoint, Lord willing, I would love it if I only pastor one church my whole life. That doesn't happen for a lot of guys. It's just not unfortunately, it's how it should be, but it's not how it is.
Bro, and you're blessed too, because I've never heard, honest to God truth, bro, I have never heard anybody in your church say one bad thing about you.
Well, we're only 4 years in. There's still time.
I don't know. If I was a member of your church and I didn't know you personally, I probably would have said a ton of bad things about you. That's all I'm saying. Like, bro, does bro really have an Undertaker tattoo right now? What is going on?
But the cool thing is that if God allows me to minister and serve in this church for my entire ministry, then I've got a lot of years ahead of me. And that means that I have to be able to look forward to what the future looks like. There's two sides to that coin, though. What does the future look like for what the kids that are kids right now?
Uh-huh.
What does it look like when they're leading the church? And then two, this is the harder part, is what does it look like without the ones that are leading the church now?
Well, I think my perspective on that is like I look at a guy like Eli, and his little daughter growing up and seeing him, and seeing that like Eli has grown so much, bro. Every time I see him, every Sunday he's grown. He's more comfortable. He's more confident, more bold in the Lord.
Yeah, today he was making jokes during the announcements,
I know.
Just cutting up. It was really good.
Bro was just hanging out.
Yeah, it was really good.
His daughter seeing that in him is the future.
Yep.
Your job is not to your job isn't necessarily to lead the little kids. In a way it is, but it's to lead the parents.
Right.
And their kids will follow.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think, praise God, all glory to God, you're doing a wonderful job at it, my boy.
Thanks, man. But that is something that is like.
I'm just out here not even a member of your church, man. Can y'all believe he won't let me become a member
No,
of
you
his
can't.
church?
You can't. You just got to get rid of your crystals and your painted toenails or whatever.
My painted toenails?
No. It's a daunting task. It is, because there is a reality of, and this is, man, it's so heavy to think about. But part of leading a church is that if you do it right, you're going to be doing funerals for people that you really love. That's like the end goal.
Where did that just come from,
dude? The end
But
goal, I think about this thing that Vodi Bakum said once, that the end goal for any pastor, for the person that they're leading, is that they get to minister about their life at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like that's like that's part of that future too. Like the hopeful part is the young up and coming people, but the other part is knowing that some of the people who are leading now and serving now, we're going to be leaning on their legacy rather than their actual physical ability to be here eventually.
Like my friend David Bain.
Yeah, man. Right, exactly.
We still talk about him all the time, and it's crazy. Like he was like a rock in that church.
Yeah.
And he all of a sudden he's just gone, bro.
Yeah. But it's still, the church still goes on. And it's because of the things that those people were faithful in doing for the Lord for as long as they were, that now has inspired the next generation to do the faithful work of the Lord.
Bro, the honorable thing for worldly people to say now is, I don't care about anything material, man. I just want to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
F your legacy, bro. It's not about your legacy.
Right.
It's about what you've done for the Lord while you're here.
Yeah, what you've done for the kingdom.
What you've done for the people around you while you're here.
Yeah.
That's your legacy. Not how... Never mind. Let me not get off.
Yeah, not what political opinions you're known for.
Or not for the good things you said.
Yeah. I'm not going to be remembered for all my zingers.
It's not about my legacy, bro.
Yeah.
It's about the glory I brought to... It's all about the glory of God. Not the glory I brought to God.
Right.
That's like a double negative or whatever that means.
Right. It's all about bringing glory. It's all about God's glory being shown.
Who was that Quaker? Was he a Quaker that said... I can't remember the big elaborate quote, but it ended with like, I just want to die and be forgotten about.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good one to look into.
I don't know. I'm bad at clone stuff. That one Quaker guy, you know, the one on the oatmeal?
The Quaker Oats guy. I was talking to somebody about this stuff, and I recently read this, and it's from the early church fathers. So you're gonna love this because I don't know if it's one who's like considered a good source
probably
for
Anabaptist or something.
Who knows? Yeah, he might be. But where he writes about Peter and his wife, and it's so cool that we do have record of some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I noticed this when we were reading in Acts today at the recovery meeting, that it talks about the disciples and their wives. So like we're always like, well, yeah, we know Peter has a wife because it talks about his in-laws in the Gospels.
Yeah.
So we know that he has a wife, but other disciples eventually had wives.
What do the Catholics have to say about that?
I don't know. because it does say the disciples and their wives met in Jerusalem.
Wait, isn't Peter the first priest of the Catholic Church?
Yeah, technically he's the first pope.
Bro, he was married.
Yeah, and so this is the devastating thing. I'm going to leave us with a really sad note or inspiring note. So, perfect example, this, just bringing this all back full circle. Again, I don't want this whole episode to be all about Charlie Kirk or anything, but Erica Kirk gave this really emboldening speech recently in the light of her husband passing. And people are like, oh man, that's so cool that she just still is like focused on leading people to the Lord. She's not like, she's grieving, but she's holding it together. But I read this thing about Peter's last known words to his wife.
Okay.
So Peter and his wife were martyred kind of around the same time.
Uh-huh. And
as the Romans were taking his wife away, his last words that are recorded by this church father, and I'm going to have to I'll figure it out and I'll talk about it next week or something. But the last words that are recorded of Peter to his wife are, "Remember the Lord."
Man.
Isn't that crazy? Peter, who denied the Lord 3 times, his last bold statement to his wife as she's being pulled from his arms to go be martyred, he says, "Remember the Lord."
Man.
So talk about legacy. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Remember the Lord.
Yeah. So there wasn't anything really funny to call this episode. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but dude,
Our most serious episode.
This really was our most serious episode, I think, but I think it was...
Besides the Hobbit feet thing.
Yeah, that's true.
We're talking about Charlie Kirk and Hobbit feet.
Yeah, so anyway. But yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. I was worried about this episode, dude, because I am beat. I'm going to go upstairs and try to fall asleep amidst the chaos of my children.
I'll be honest, bro. I haven't showered since Thursday night. I'm just confessing my sins.
That's okay, buddy.
And I said that because I'm definitely not going to shower tonight either. I'm too tired, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got to walk all the way up those basement steps and then into the shower, and then I got to turn the shower on and use soap and all types of stuff.
And you're all upset because it's got 3 handles instead of 1 or something. I don't know.
It's not code, bro. If Neil was listening, he'd correct you. Shut up, dude, with your little freaking weird Hobbit feet, bro. I don't want to hear none of that.
And you know what? And code is the construction truth, right?
Uh-huh.
But that's not God's truth. And God's truth won't back down. And neither should you. Stay relentless, stay aggressive, and stay focused for God's glory.
Amen.
Amen. I said that backwards. Whatever.